Hello and welcome to Left of Center, the only podcast where the camera is not centered. I'm your host, Phil Spector. That's a guy, right? Is he a criminal? Was he convicted of any crimes?
Yeah, he killed someone.
Yeah, he killed someone. Talk about left of center. Man. What should Phil Spector do, as a podcast character on this show?
Well, he was very well known for having the really gigantic hair when he was in court. I feel like that needs to play into something because that was just like totally out of left field. Remember that?
That's all I can think of when I picture him. I mean, he's a music producer, a composer. What does he do?
He was like he was a music producer. He was famous for inventing what he called the wall of sound. You know how like when you listen to music today, it's just like from the moment the song starts until it ends, it's kind of just this wall of noise. It's the exact same volume. Yeah. There's no quiet parts. It's all just maximum smack you in the face. Yeah. That was his invention to try to get more airtime for certain songs because it made people react to it better. Mm-hmm. Not that it sounded better, it just got better reaction. People would stop what they were doing and listening to it.
It freaking went viral. But that's interesting. But it's hard to remember all that when all you can think of is that court picture of him with the giant fucking hair. That I think was another invention of his, the wall of hair. And they're like, maybe if everybody's only talking about my giant hair, they won't have the space to like react to the fact that I killed someone,
I think you're onto something there. But I mean, even before that point, though, he still had some crazy hair. Just wasn't quite that in your face.
Yeah, I feel like he had other hairstyles that were also lamentable. That one is the one. And it's like that one was not, it wasn't his like long-term haircut or anything as far as anyone knows. I think it was just kind of like a fluke. And then normally you see him with other haircuts, right?
Yeah, but they all were unusual, I think. I don't remember ever seeing a picture of him that he didn't have something going on that made you stop and go, wait, what's happening here?
Yeah, for sure. Hold on. I got to send an alert to, oh, no, okay. I have a bad Discord. Now my Discord's the bad Discord. I have a Patreon Discord, and there's an alert that you can send when the episode is starting. And sometimes I send it, and sometimes other people in the chat send it. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot to send the alert. But it looks like Edward Fingerhands already sent it. Edward Fingerhands, he's in the good Discord. So join the good Discord. You're already on the good Discord, Schraub Home Video Discord. There's no way you're not. Man, I am out of it. I don't know. I think I probably didn't eat enough today, but I did just eat. But I don't know. Like I had a bunch of chickpea salad. It's a funny, word. Garbanzo beans, and it's from Trader Joe's. I've been looking for this chickpea salad, and I finally have found it, so I bought a bunch of it, and it's real good. It's basically just chickpeas and vinegar, like that's basically all it is, but it just is really good. But it's different than the chickpea salad I've been making because their chickpeas are like crunchier, they're less soggy and kind of waterlogged, if that makes sense, whereas the canned ones are just kind of soggy. And I was like, man, do I have to like start making my own chickpeas, like boil them and actually make them right so they have like a better texture than these canned ones? Because it's a lot more satisfying, these ones in the Trader Joe's salad, and I would like to do that, but it's not.
You find when you're eating the soggy ones that you get like that skin that comes off, and then you have two pieces of chickpea in your mouth, then like if you're eating them one at a time, like it separates into like two separate pieces in your mouth. I don't like that. I like chickpeas though.
Yeah, I don't love that, but I don't think it's deal breaker or anything. But that happens, like just the skin kind of comes off, and now you're like, oh, I got a fly's wings in my mouth. Like, yeah, it's not super good, but I don't know. I think it's still fine. But that was happening. I want to say that was happening more with the Trader Joe's chickpea salad than the ones I was making myself with the canned chickpeas. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is there, but yeah, that was like breakfast, and then I just didn't have lunch. I was like trying to take a nap, and the nap wasn't working. It's hard for me to take naps. Sometimes your body, like, I don't know. So here's the thing I do. What a great podcast. You guys, you could just turn off. Honestly, I know, like, I have the agenda of what we're going to talk about on the podcast, and like, it's
not
not
good. I'll let you guys
it's
know.
not good. Yeah. So I think, yeah, feel free to just, yeah. But anyway, what I do is I watch anime on my phone. I don't know why. I have a TV, but I just watch anime on my phone. And I have this little stand that I put my phone into, and then I'm like watching it, and it makes me fall asleep to watch anime on my phone. And but the thing is, I don't just want it to autoplay. So if I'm like falling asleep watching anime, I have to like turn it off. And then I'm awake and I'm not going to sleep. It's like I definitely would have fallen asleep if I just let the anime keep playing and I just fell asleep with it on. But the act of like turning it off or whatever and taking off headphones or whatever, that wakes me up. And then it's like, well, God damn it. So yeah, so I just tried and failed to take a nap, and so I didn't eat lunch. And then I ended up trying to get food, and I did get food, but I don't think it's digested enough for me to like have energy yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah. See, when I'm trying to fall asleep, I put YouTube on of just the most boring thing I can find and just click autoplay and then just sort of like fall asleep. And then at some point during the night, I usually wake up and just turn it off. But I've had to stop doing that because it keeps just playing the weirdest, like, I don't know, YouTube lately just thinks I'm into the craziest, like, it's generally some kind of like conservative talk show that will pop on after like 8 or 9 shows. And no matter how much I don't know, exactly. I don't want to hear that. That happens. And then also, I think I mentioned this a couple times before too, but like there was one night where literally just after doing, the block of shows with all of you guys, I go to sleep. And then several hours into the night, it just randomly picks Callie Fontecchio giving a speech at a college. And like, that weirdly worked its way into whatever it was I was dreaming about. And that was just so unusual. So I've kind of had to stop doing that now.
That's very strange.
Yeah.
When is someone going to ask me to speak at a college,
What would you talk about?
College, right? What do you talk about?
I don't know. She was talking about color theory to a bunch of artists.
A bunch of artists at artist college. So she's talking about college,
Well, true.
Someone did ask me at some point to give a talk, but it fell apart. Like it didn't come together. But that happened once in my life. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I was asked to be at PaizoCon, but that sucked. I mean, PaizoCon was cool. I'm just like a loser. And I was like, I'm not good at this. This is bad. This is not something I have talent in. So think about that next time you think I'm good at DMing. I really shit the bed at PaizoCon. Would a good DM do that? I didn't think so. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. It's not good. Everything's not good. But you know what is good? The SAG strike is over. Oh, I was waiting for you to applaud. There's no raucous cheers or anything.
Sorry, I was trying not to cut you off talking about
No. I just imagined you being an entire audience as opposed to just one person in a conversation with me. And I was like, what gives? But yeah, the SAG strike's over. It seems like the agreement's good. Let me pull it up on my phone. I had it because they haven't actually released the legitimate deal sheet. And I was also curious about like what the stuff happening on the lead up to it was, because there was the last final offer, and then they said no, and then there was actually the good offer that came through or whatever. But I kind of wanted to see the content, like the information that SAG was putting out during the last final offer and stuff. But it seems like since the strike ended, they've kind of like scrubbed their like most of their strike communications, or it's just like their site's not working properly. I'm not super sure, but I can't find like anything other than the big email saying like, oh, we did it, or the big like newsletter saying like, oh, we did it. But okay, so here's the things that they say they won in this big newslettery kind of press release or whatever. There's meaningful protections around the use of AI, including informed consent and compensation. Whether they're actually created on set through filming or if they're licensed for use, like in a separate than filming. It includes a new wage pattern with 2 wage increases in the first year of the contract, 7% upon ratification of the contract, and 4% that happens in July 2024. So, that's, I guess, effective increase of 11.28% increase in wages, and then there's also another 3.5 increase in 2025. So that's in the ballpark of a 15% pay raise, which is interesting. And I think that's minimum rate. I don't know if that's like all wages or whatever. Background actors also go up a similar amount. It looks like they even go up like 17 or 18%, which is pretty good because background actors get really shafted. But there's a lot of people who work background and stuff. It's a decent way to do work. If you can't get other gigs, you can kind of, I don't know, but they're not even really using background actors as much as they used to. That's something people have been talking about online lately. What else? I guess I don't know what that means. There's a 43% increase to the contribution cap for 1 hour. So this is about contributions to the healthcare and pension funds. So it means that if you're working on smaller productions, you don't get, you get an increased amount of contribution. So like one of the big things about how SAG works is like, how much you work, how many like hours and days you work directly translates into like whether or not you get healthcare benefits and stuff. And so this is saying for really, really short productions, it gives you more than just that like time amount of retirement and health and pension funds. Because, if you're doing a lot of short stuff and not like a decent sized role, then you're kind of not getting as much contribution. So there's residuals for streaming, which is really crazy. I wonder if that affects me because I get residuals. But they're really, man, the residuals I get are shitty. It sucks. I've basically done 2 things. One is Community and the other is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And the Brooklyn Nine-Nine was like a barely speaking role. I might have had 1 line. I'm not sure. And then the Community role was, I was in a whole B plot basically, although I didn't have a lot of lines. But man, the Brooklyn Nine-Nine gives me way more money than the Community one. I have no idea how that works, but it looks like they're streaming residuals. Man, I did not actually expect them to win, and who knows what the strings are on this, but I did not expect them to win streaming residuals for actors, just because that's like so many people. Like at least with writers, there's, a handful of writers per thing. So if you add up all the things, it's like, oh, we're only handing out, this amount. Although I assume like writer residuals are higher. But for actors, it's like there's so many actors in every single thing, so it seems like a lot of money. So that was something I didn't even expect us to win necessarily. And by the way, I'm in SAG, but whatever. Who cares? I'm not like a real actor. They made gains in hair and makeup. I don't know what that means. And then this is just a bunch of access to services, sexual harassment training, aggregate statistics on diversity, getting rid of loopholes. And then there's also minimums for high budget made for AOVD programming. I was supposed to look up what AOVD is, but let's just say it stands for Advanced Video on Demand. There's also like protections in the casting process that they can't give you like a really quick turnaround. Something that happens in the casting process is they'll say, oh, can you shoot a tape of this script or whatever and send it back to see, we want you for this part, so can you record this and send it back? And then they'll say like, and send it back tomorrow. And that's like, it's not feasible. It's pretty hard to do self tapes in general, and to be able to do them in that time with a script, and you memorize the script good enough to perform it and stuff. And so this is putting a 48 hour and a 48 hour like minimum on the turnaround time for that. And for minors, it's 72 hours, which, I mean, honestly, that seems still pretty small to me, but hey, it's something. and it's like a limit on how many pages you can do for a self-tape, 8 or 12 pages, so you can't just do tons and tons and tons of stuff. And then this says if memorization is required, so you're not just reading off the script, if you have to memorize the lines for the tape, then you get paid. You have to get paid. And you can't be asked to be nude or wear super revealing clothing in a self-tape, which, this is just about dignity. And then there's some stuff for like accommodations for disabilities and seniors and minors in the self-tape audition process. What else? Relocation allowance. So if they want you to relocate, there's money you get for free. Well, not for free, for the job. So that looks like it's the kind of broad strokes of everything. Again, I don't think we've actually seen a deal sheet, but it's impressive. Who knew? But yeah, it's good. It's good time to be in unions. It seems like there's been a lot of union games. Didn't the United Auto Workers just make huge wins too? It's
I think so. Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah. In general, all that stuff I think builds political power. So it's not just like, oh, we're getting more money. And I think it like has knock-on effects that we will hopefully, start to see in the future too. I think it could be good. But yeah, so that's SAG. Speaking of SAG, I get residuals, like I said. They're not very much. And I don't know how it works. But when I tried to apply for unemployment one time, they were like, what are you talking about? You're employed. You just got a SAG check. And I was like, yeah, a SAG check for like $3. Like, that's not employment. And they're like, oh, so you're unemployed, so you want to make let's give you residual, or let's give you your unemployment like what you were making before at that SAG job. We'll send you $3 or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, no, what the fuck? So I don't know if there's like a way to maneuver that or whatever, but it's like, wish I could just turn off my residuals. Then I could get like real ass unemployment or whatever. But it's probably too late for that. I don't know. But man, making Harmon Quest money, unemployment on that or something, I'd probably hit the cap. But whatever, it's all good. I've never done unemployment. They say that unemployment, like if you use it, it runs out, right? It's like there's some, I guess it's probably different in your state, right? I don't know, but
every state's rules are a little bit different, but yeah,
but if you use it and then it runs out and then you can't get more until some amount of time. And when I was younger, I thought that meant like in your entire life. So it's like you should never be taking unemployment unless you like really need it, because then you'll never get it again, which is like not how it works as far as I understand now. But so I missed out on unemployment. I probably could have gotten in money, big monies. But hey, if anyone knows what I got to do, let me know, because I'd like to turn off my residuals so I can get real unemployment, but I don't even know if that's possible. Like, do you tell?
I mean, in Illinois, I know that they will never punish you for getting work. Like, if you make a little bit of money, they just pay you a little bit less. It's not that you get nothing.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I have to look. All these systems are like so hard to navigate. I signed up for Medi-Cal ages ago. Well, not ages ago, but because I've not been making money, I signed up for Medi-Cal, and that's a pretty weird process too. But at least they like give you a person or a line or something you could call, and they'll walk you through every step of it. And that's the thing, is like there are people that can help, but it's hard to find those people to help. It's all the services are so hard. I imagine they could be better funded, but even beyond like funding them higher, I think is like you gotta make it make more sense and be more approachable. Like, do you know how easy it is to get a credit card? You just snap your fingers and get a credit card and fuck your life over forever, and then it turns around and it's like it feels very difficult to get essential government services that the government ostensibly wants you to sign up for. But hey, the SAG stuff, that's not the only victory that happened. Another victory is that Kevin came to America. Kevin,
yeah.
you
it's for my new film,
LA.
Coming to America. Yeah,
Kevin to America, I think it should be called. But what's up? What you have some fun here? We hung out for a little bit. I wish we hung out more, but yeah.
Me too. I know our schedules just didn't match up very well, but we went for a good walk actually. I kind of enjoyed that. Just every single other person I met, I think, wanted to go out to like lunch or dinner or something. So I was eating like 4 meals a day, on top of me eating breakfast in the morning. And then, so I ate a lot, but I had
Yeah,
a great
we were
time.
gonna we were gonna meet for lunch, and then you had two more lunches after that. But then we didn't end up meeting for lunch. We just went for a walk. Which, yeah, then you just only
Yeah.
had two lunches that day.
And then after those two lunches, it immediately went to dinner with somebody else. So
Ugh.
yeah.
So what? Who'd you meet? You met like Rob twice, right? Didn't you hang out with Rob or something?
Yep. Got to see Schraub's new house, and then met up with him and Harmon and Callie and just everybody really. For those who watched Harmontown, our old director, Nolan Fabricus, and then our director before that, Chris Boroff, I met up with them too.
Wow, what did Boroff want?
Just say hi. Haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah. How was he?
He's doing good. He works for Game Grumps now. He's worked for them for a while. So he's doing good though. And his wife, Sarah Hill, that also worked for Harmontown, she was our production coordinator. Met up with them and did, just saw everyone I could while I was in LA.
Yeah. Chris also got me involved in Commander at Home. I've now been on Commander at Home twice, but he was working on that. And I think he suggested they contact me to have someone fill in. And I did a decent job. And so they were like, hey, because I was a stranger. I don't know if they knew me or knew my deal or anything, but I guess I charmed everybody enough where they were like, oh, it wasn't just the one-time fill-in, like we'll have you back. And that was pretty cool, man. Oh, speaking of which, I don't know if I talked about this so much, but my new episode of Commander at Home just dropped on YouTube, and it's like an amazing episode. There was Ben Brodon, who's like one of the creators of Marvel Snap, and he had an unglued deck, and I had a Zedru deck, and it was just super wacky. You got to check it out, Commander at Home. Even if you don't like Magic, it's probably worth checking out, but maybe not so much. But there's definitely moments that you'll like, but the whole thing is like an hour and 20 minutes. So I don't know if you'd want to watch a whole hour, 20 minutes of a game that you don't understand. But I don't think it was super complicated. Well, it was super complicated, but kind of like nothing was happening. And all of us were talking about how, like, wow, this is being super complicated right now. So I don't think you miss a lot by not understanding the rules, if that makes sense. But it was pretty funny. You got to check that out. I'd love to come back on that show sometimes. But back to Kevin. Kevin, you hung out at Schraub's house. You saw his house. And
I did.
Why didn't he want me to hang out?
I don't know. Do you want to have you seen his new house?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. Well, then you were done. I don't know.
All you did, it was like you looked at his house and you said good house, and then you left. Is that what happened? Or did you have fun with a friend of yours?
Kate was there too, and his dog Lolly was there.
Oh, well, Kate was there. Who cares?
And watched, an early edit of Kate and Aaron's upcoming show, Action Explosion. So I thought I got to see a preview of the next episode of that.
Wow.
But yeah, that was, yeah.
I would have loved to have seen a preview of their episode of Action.
Okay. Is this your way of saying next time I go hang out with Schraub, you want to come along?
I mean, yeah, but it's not like I'm not mad at you. I'm mad like I don't know. It's everything that happens reasonable, but I don't know.
I'm so rarely in LA. Everyone kind of feels like they have to like get their time in with me while I'm there.
Yeah. I just Schraub. We're friends, he says. So yeah, I went to his house once. You know what? And Schraub had COVID. And they're like, hey, come over. I have COVID. It's great. And I'm like, what the fuck? So it's a shame that, he doesn't invite me over when he's not trying to infect me with something. I came over there. I actually bought a literal gas mask, or I guess it's not I don't think it's like a military grade or anything. It's called like a respirator. But it's like the plastic with the two scrubbers on either side of the face. And I wore it as a bit when I got out of the car. I had that on, and I think that they kind of took it as more serious. I mean, I took it off immediately after I had it, and I was just wearing a normal mask. But I don't know. But Schraub was there, and he was having COVID and cooking, and I was like, I guess we could, I talked to Kate and Schraub a little bit on the veranda. I don't think it was the veranda. It was like the backyard area, and they have a great yard, great backyard. It was awesome, and then the whole time I was just talking to Kate because Schraub was like just going away, and I was like, why doesn't Schraub want to talk to me? It was really weird. But I think it was because he was sick and he didn't want to, get me sick. But, I was wearing a mask and we were outside, so it seemed okay. But I don't know. I don't think I've really been around someone who is actively sick with COVID, even wearing a mask. So I'm sure he was being thoughtful. But hey, this isn't about why Schraub's good. It's about why I'm mad. Okay. Well, this episode.
Well, I will be back in LA soon, and all of us can maybe hang out somewhere together.
Anytime anyone asks you to do anything, be all like, "Is it cool if Spencer comes?"
Okay.
He's kind of my ride. Then we show up separately, and they're like, "What? He was your ride?" Like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay. So, I have a job, and I work a lot, and
which is why we didn't spend more time together, by the way.
No, I know. That's the thing. I would have rather hung out, but yeah, I had to work a lot. But jobs suck. Every job is bad. That's not true. And this one's not bad either. But working is bad. Working sucks. We had the fucking email. That email, I think I was trying to play it off pretty well, but we had an email last week that really stuck in my craw. Like, the guy was saying, like, oh, one of the reasons Harmontown's interesting is because Dan would, like, talk about his life and stuff. And it's like, yeah, he's a fucking rich guy who works in television. He has an interesting life. Like, he can't not do interesting stuff, I talk about my life, too, and it sucks. It's not interesting in any way because my life is very uninteresting. It's like, oh, my God, like, can you believe that my cat? Oh, look, you can see the cat.
And I met Jason too.
Up. Yeah, and Jason liked you. Jason usually hides from guests, but she did not hide from you. But she threw up. Is that the kind of story you want? Is that the interesting parts of Harmontown? Is Spencer talking about his life where his dog threw up? Jason's a dog. Jesus Christ. I don't know what's wrong with me. This is a problem. But so sorry, Jason. You can throw up wherever you want. But who can't throw up wherever they want? Soda. That's right, folks. The main reason Kevin hung out with me is not because he's excited to see me and wanted to hang out with me. It was actually to hand deliver several drinks and snacks. And we're going to try to get through all 5 of these sodas. We always hit a diminishing return when we're tasting stuff, but I think we just might have to power through it, Do you want to just choose one at random? I did not refrigerate these because you did not hand them to me refrigerated. And that's...
Okay, I'm going to go for this one first. This is...
the flowery Pepsi, right?
Yes.
We don't know what this actually is, though.
No, I have no idea. Let's see if there's anything... Nope, there's nothing in English on here.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So... if anyone lives in the Chicago area and you want to try any of these drinks, the place I got them from was the Chicago Fashion Outlet Mall in Rosemont. There's just a little kiosk right in the center of the mall that sells basically almost every overseas drink and snack we've ever tried. They all have.
Yeah, it's true.
What they had lots. I went there, got so excited I was like texting Spencer pictures of their booth.
It was awesome. I wanted all that stuff, but I didn't want you to buy it all. It seemed like it would be too expensive. Also, I don't know. I'm trying to lose weight. I realized after I had late lunch today, I was like, I probably ate too much considering we're gonna do a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna try and take sips and stuff, but hey, it's still 5 sodas at the end of the day. But that's okay. It's fine. Man, another thing I did is last night I cooked green bean casserole and stuffing, sage and sausage stuffing, and I did that to pregame for Thanksgiving because I wanted to dry run the recipes. Why do they call it dry run? Anyway, dry run the recipes so that on Thanksgiving I would know like how to nail them, you know. And so Thanksgiving is going to be fucking lit, you guys. Anyway, sorry. Let's drink the soda. Do you want to try it first, or should
Sure.
we? Should
I was
we?
trying to see if I could Google to find what this flavor is supposed to be, but I can't even find a picture of this anywhere.
Wow. Well, maybe it's just normal Pepsi.
I'm not sure. Smelling it, I'm not positive. But again, and this is a brand new one that has not expired yet, is not as carbonated and fit. Like when you open it up, like a US can or bottle, when you open up, there's this kind of noise.
Yeah,
that's not true here, and it's hardly fizzy. But what does that smell like?
To me, it does smell like the first kind of as it popped open and the spray kind of sprayed out. It kind of smelled more floral, but this honestly smells pretty cola-y to me. It smells very Pepsi-like.
Yeah, I mean it smells good. Okay, let me taste it here. Spencer's sniffing in one nostril only.
I'm trying to snort it. So Kevin's taking a drink and he's got a great shirt on. It says Mario Bros or some shit. It's a cool shirt. If you're listening to the podcast, okay, go ahead, Kevin.
No, it doesn't taste like normal Pepsi to me, but I can't really place what the flavor is. I mean, it almost, I don't know. I can't, like, I almost want to say like rose or something, or like there's some kind of almost perfumey aftertaste to it, but it's very mild.
Yeah, I'd say this is mostly Pepsi. It's a very strong Pepsi flavor, and then I don't know if you'd call it rose water. It could be sakura blossoms or something, but definitely just this light perfumey floral infusion, like you said. Like it's kind of like someone put some flower extract into like a normal Pepsi or something. It's mostly Pepsi with a slight
It's definitely drinkable, and it's subtle enough that if you just handed it to me without it being in a weird bottle, I probably wouldn't have noticed anything. Maybe.
Yeah, you might notice something's off about it, but you might not put it together.
It's not bad. It's just not anything special, I don't think.
So I'm looking it up, and it looks like this was a collaboration between Pepsi and Febreze. So that I think explains what's going on there. So yeah, that's going to be a stank for me. Something I do on the podcast is I steal from the Doughboys, and they do a segment called Drink or Stank, where they drink something and determine if it's a drank or a stank, and that's a stank. But what about this purple one? This purple one we must have already tried. This looks exactly like one we've had before. It's a purple Fanta.
It's possible we've had this one before. But I think the ones that we got before were a little over flat, and they were already expired by the time we got them. Where this one, I don't think is. So let's try this.
Let's sniff it up.
I always like Japanese grape flavors because they just do it so much better than ours is. Ours, like, if you had never tasted artificial grape and then handed me artificial grape, I don't think I ever would have guessed that was supposed to be grape. You know, it's kind of like banana candy doesn't taste anything like the bananas we buy in the store today, you know?
Yeah, definitely. It's maybe a bit reductive to say it tastes like grape medicine or something, but it kind of has this like kind of absolute where when you taste a medicine that's supposed to be a flavor, it's like that's not that flavor, that's just something. And then medicine also. But yeah, this is smelling really strongly of Concord grape. You know, a nice red kind of grape. It smells really good. I'll take this.
Okay, so Spencer's trying it. Yeah, this to me smells like real grape juice, not artificial grape. Like I would believe there was actual grape juice in this. There probably isn't, but I would believe there is.
I don't know if it's because I had the Pepsi, but there's something like it's kind of clashing a little bit. There's something vaguely diet tasting, I want to say.
I was just saying that too. It tastes like Fanta Zero or something.
Yeah, like a zero sugar. You still get a lot of grapiness, but it's just not full bodied the way like a full soda, like a Coke is, you know.
And it's actually very it's brown if you actually hold up to a light. Like it's unusual.
It's unusual.
Yeah. I I would give this one a miss, I think, just because I don't know. It doesn't have that really intense grape that I was expecting.
Yeah, it's kind of that's the thing about the diet of it. It kind of like you get the edges of it, but not the center. To
Yeah.
me, that's good. I think if I wasn't, I wouldn't buy that. But if someone gave it to me, I definitely drink it. And I don't think I would finish the Pepsi, but I would finish the Fanta if I was not trying to lose weight and failing because I ate that stuffing yesterday. No, it's fine. It's all fine. Ugh, whatever.
All right, well,
Everybody,
let's try a healthy one here. So this is
everybody
from
loved
One
me.
Piece.
One
This is a
Piece,
One Piece licensed. It's called Ocean Bomb. It is
Ocean
mango
Bomb.
flavored sparkling water.
It's got Nami on the cover. This is the cover of the soda. The soda cover. Nami from One Piece. Yeah, and when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, we got to get the Nami soda," and it's mango flavored, which isn't the flavor of the ocean.
This is from Taiwan.
I see.
Yeah, so I figured this would be a healthy one we could throw in right in the middle of all these.
And Nami likes oranges, so it's not very lore accurate for it to be mango flavored. It should be orange flavored. But I don't know. I'd rather drink a mango flavored beverage than an orange flavored beverage, I suppose, right?
That's true. This smells really like mango.
Yeah.
That's an almost uncanny mango flavor. Like, does it actually have mango juice in it?
I wonder. This one actually has a lot of English in it. So, no, it's not saying. It's saying artificial flavoring. So I guess not.
Okay.
But it's only 90 calories for a can. So that's 30 calories less than your average soda, which is 120 per can.
This smells good. All right, let me do this taste here. Okay, it was a little gritty.
Gritty.
That was strange. Yeah, that was very strange, but it tastes really good. But almost like something settled out of it, maybe a little bit.
Oh yeah. No, I'm finding this to be very sour and bitter and not sweet.
Yeah, it's not what I was expecting from sparkling water. It's usually either really flat and
well,
tasteless.
for 90 calories, it's like that's more than sparkling water, but it's kind of like a pretty bold sparkling water. And I hate sparkling water. So like I think but if you like drink a LaCroix and then you drink one of these, I think you'd be like, "Oh, wow, this is like a really good one," or something.
Yeah.
But as someone who doesn't really like sparkling water, I think it just kind of hits like a sparkling water, which is to say, not my favorite. But I will also say that there's this kind of bitter acidity or something to most sparkling waters where it doesn't just taste like water. It tastes like club
almost
soda
metallic
or something. Yeah. And this has less of that. It does it kind of goes down smoother. Like when I drink a LaCroix, I make like this weird face, like this kind of thing. And this is not inducing that. It just tastes better. I don't know.
Yeah, like I think I would like more of the sparkling waters if it actually tasted like the thing that it said it was supposed to. Like the joke is that the strawberry one is like a strawberry with a low battery, or somebody waved some grape somewhere near the room where they were bottling it, and that they call that grape flavored. But I would rather
go ahead.
This. I'd rather what they did here with this, where it actually tastes like mango. Like I recognize this as mango, not strawberry perfume added to some water.
Yeah, and that's why it's 90 calories. That's the thing is it takes calories to like make the flavor actually really work, unless you're going crazy with fake sugar and stuff. That's I don't know. Unfortunately, this is probably my favorite of these three so far.
I agree, and I'm still not liking this one that much, but I would drink this.
Yeah, but I again, like sparkling water, it doesn't taste like water. It tastes like water that's been treated somehow. And I like how this actually does taste like water. There are like strong water notes as opposed to this kind of like bitter carbonation flavor. I don't know. We got this like I don't know what you call it. It's a Pepsi with a black label and it's got a lime kind of motif. But it looks like it's like this is some nighttime Pepsi. This is like some late night Pepsi or something. Intense.
I picked this one because it says intense taste. And no sugar. So I wanted to see what that meant.
So it could be really tangy. You know, like I don't know what, but there's this kind of leaf. I don't know what leaf it is, but if you put lime juice on this leaf, it's supposed to taste like cola, and it may be like that flavor combination maybe preceded actual cola flavoring. I don't know. That's something I should have known more about if I was going to bring up in the first place. But hey, this is the bad episode. Speaking of the bad episode, have you gotten any titles so far?
I do. I have about 20.
All right. You want to talk through this a little bit and then read some of those titles?
Wow, here, killing time tonight. Okay. Yeah, let me try this first. Hold on here.
It smells like a Pepsi. It smells pretty normal. Kevin's given a taste.
It does taste like Pepsi you could buy here with less carbonation and a lot more lime than like the lime flavored colas that I've tried before.
I wonder if these bottles, these kind of like Asian bottles or whatever, or I guess European has these kind too. I wonder if they're worse at holding on to carbonation, you know, because they do seem
can
to
somebody
have
who like
slight
lives
differences.
like East Asia tell us, are your drinks less fizzy than they are in the US, or are we just losing it because these cans got shipped all over the world before they got to us?
It's gotta be shipping, right? Okay, so I'm gonna taste this, and while I taste this, Kevin, read off a couple episode titles.
Okay, so for those who don't understand what we're doing here, while Spencer's talking, I'm actually writing titles for the show, and then at the end of the show, I text Spencer the list, and we pick one. So the first one I have on my list is Wall of Hair. I like that. Chickpea and vinegar, but pea spelled P-E-E. Two scrubbers on the side of my face. The interesting parts of Harmontown. Pretty bold sparkling water. Nighttime Pepsi. The bad episode. You know, we have a pretty wide range, so we'll be surprised if one of those ends up being the choice.
And if you're in the good Discord, vote for which of those titles you like the best. The winner may surprise you.
It will be none of these.
I don't think my brain is working. Okay, so let's talk about this. It tastes mostly like Diet Pepsi. It has lime flavoring, but for me, I would say it's less like lime flavoring and more like lime essential oil has been added, you know, like rind zest kind of flavor, which is very different from juice flavor or artificial lime flavor. It's a definite scent note. It's kind of higher up in the scent register and the flavor register. It doesn't like sit in the flavors of the Pepsi. The flavor, like, you know, I don't know. Did you ever have Diet Coke with lime or whatever?
Yeah,
like that was like lime flavored, you know, and this isn't like that. It's the rind, you know. Would you concur?
I do. It actually, I don't mean this in the bad way it probably sounds, but it reminds me more of like a citrus flavored cleaning product than it does the lime drinks we get here. Yeah.
That actually gives me a good idea. They should make cleaning products that use citrus juice instead of citrus essential oils. I think that could be really good. So this is not my favorite. I'd maybe put this a little behind. Well, I guess that's second to last. I'd put it behind the grape, but also I don't know. I feel like I could imagine drinking this and having a good time. Like I think it could be solid. You know, I'm just not super into it.
Yeah, I think if it was colder, I would probably. I only put this in the fridge about 2 hours ago when me and Spencer realized we had nothing for the show. So,
and I didn't put it in the fridge at all.
Yeah. I think this one would taste better cold. I'm not sure about the others, but I think this one tastes better if it was a lot colder.
Yeah, nice crisp Diet Pepsi. But overwhelmingly, it just tastes like Diet Pepsi. So, you know, nothing to write home about. All right, we got one more. And then you guys, you know, we're done. We're done. You don't have to hear this anymore. Well, the podcast continues, just like us pontificating about beverages, I mean. Man, what if there's a beverage pontiff, you know? Anyway, okay, so what's this one? This one's like sour apple or something?
Yeah, I think this is supposed to be a sour apple Fanta. So, yeah.
Which is this? This looks closer to Japanese. Some of these are more Chinese looking to me, but this looks more Japanese. Who knows? Well, do you want to taste it first?
Sure. Oh, this was very fizzy for me.
Yeah,
This is the
this one's more
fizziest one so
fizzy.
far.
And I will say that the lid is a lot more tightly secured than the others.
Yeah.
And
this smells actually really good. It smells like a green apple Jolly Rancher.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if we did this one. I think we did an apple one before.
We might have, but so when I was picking these up, this one looked super familiar, but my memory of this was that mine was totally flat. So I was like, let's try this again. I felt it, and it felt like it wasn't, like it felt like it had some pressure behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while Kevin takes his first sip, I'm going to read off some of the episode titles. This one just says Krantz. I don't even think that's a word. This one says Morgan Freeman is back. And episode 3. Those are all strange titles, but okay. What'd you think, Kevin? Oh, no. Did Kevin freeze? Kevin, you froze. Am I still on the air?
Me.
According to the live program view, I'm still on the air. Okay, you're back, Kevin.
Yes.
You're back. Yes. I don't know what happened. Oh, my God.
I have
this
no
really
idea.
is the worst episode.
Well, you're still going as long as you see yourself. So if I drop off, you're fine.
Yeah. Well, what'd you think of this?
That actually was my favorite. That actually was really good. I like that one. What did you think?
It's not overly sweet, right? I was expecting it to be very candy-like. It's almost it's not apple juice because it's more of this kind of sour apple take, but it's like closer to apple juice than it is like a strong apple soda. Have you ever had Manzanita Sol? It's like an apple soda.
Yes.
It's kind of like that, but Manzanita Sol is like also more like this is a fucking apple soda. Whereas again, this is kind of like more understated. This has got to be the best out of the bunch, right? Don't you think?
Absolutely. I'm probably going to finish this one and not finish the other 4.
Yeah, I wish I could read. Okay, I think this is 200 calories if I'm reading this right. So that's not. But basically, all of these other ones are free, calorie-wise.
Yeah.
Well, I think the flour Pepsi is caloric, but I can't read exactly how this label is. This one says 480, 250, 115. I think it's 250. This also says 6% NRV. You want to maybe look up like soda 6% NRV or something to see if that means anything? I wonder what NRV is. Anyway,
nutrient reference value. So it's 6% of like your daily value is what we would call it here.
Mm-hmm. Well, if that's 6%, then what's 100%? Because that doesn't. 250.
That could be like sodium
6%.
or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nutrient reference value. That's a.
If I had my.
That. Go ahead.
Yeah, if I had things together, I would have translating the label before we did the show too.
Yeah. Well, you fucked up, and that's why the episode's bad.
I'll take the blame for this one today.
Well, it's definitely my fault, I promise, but I appreciate that. Okay, so something that's happening on TikTok, and this isn't really a trend. It's just like a thing that my algorithm has cottoned onto. There's this thing. There's this, I don't know. It's an account that's like doing a bunch of these where it's called customer service brain rot. And it's just people posting comments about like their awkward customer service situations where they had brain farts and stuff, and I don't know, I've been laughing harder at these, not this one that I'm going to read specifically, but like I've been reading these and like laughing harder than I've laughed at like anything on TikTok in a long time. So these are pretty good, but I don't know if this one's going to be super good, but I'm just going to read a bunch of these. I don't know. Kevin, let me know when when it's like, becoming bad, when I'm doing it too much or whatever. But okay, so I once said, "Have a good night, ladies," because I thought a woman's husband was her wife with a pixie cut. Sad face. I'm a cashier, and this is the second one. I'm a cashier, and I was trying to say, "How will you be paying today?" But I said, "You gotta pay." Like I was trying to say, "You're going to pay for doing this." Okay. One time, this guy told me he bought flour, like this the ingredient, but I read his text as flour, so I said, "Ooh, pretty. What kind?" And all he said was all-purpose. Okay. I was serving this kid some lunch, and instead of asking what he wanted, I said, "Okay, Google." What were you gonna say, Kevin?
No, I was just laughing.
Oh, it sounded like you were saying something. Maybe it was like audio, whatever. But I think okay. So this one actually, like the all-purpose flour, like they should invent all-purpose flours. You know, like instead of like specific flours, it's like these ones they're good for everything. You know, I think that actually would be a really good invention. And also, it would be a really good episode title if you're voting. Vote for that.
That we
Speaking of
just got
which,
added.
what did they vote for? Did they vote at all? Did the Sharappo Video Discord vote?
They liked chickpea and vinegar.
Of course they did. Well, we could go with that. Do you think that'll get flagged by iTunes or anything?
They've been pretty cool lately, so we'll find out.
All right, we'll find out. I don't like ceding control, but to be nice to everybody, let's just make that the episode title.
Is this your olive branch to the bad Discord?
I think I'm a whole fucking olive tree at this point. I've been doing all sorts of olive branches. Anyway, I went to grab a mop from the cleaning room and someone was standing in front of it. So I approached, said sausage for no reason, then walked away. Once I got out a cake for a customer and tried to tell her to freeze it until she needed it, but accidentally said, "Let's keep you in the freezer." Okay. I let a customer into our bathrooms at work and spontaneously said to them, "Have a nice one." Sad face. "Yeah, have a nice dump, Daryl." In the DT stands for drive-through. This guy asked if we could put the butter on the muffin for him, so I yelled into the headset, "Someone butter his muffin!" I walked into a store while taking a sip of my drink, and when the lady said hello, I just gargled and choked. One time, a table asked to have their cake as a takeaway, and I said, "Oh, a cake away," and kept giggling while they just stared at me. Okay. One time, I was trying to say your total and your order, and I just ended up looking this customer dead in the eyes, saying your odor. Okay. One time, I had a whole line of people, and then the phone rang. I picked up and said, "I didn't mean to answer this," and hung up. I was at the Steak and Shake after work, and the guy handed me my milkshake, and I said, "Thank you," or "There you go, thank you," and drove off. I was at a pizza restaurant, and they asked cash or card, and I confidently said pepperoni. I saw a table of 6, but instead of taking their order, I took a chair and joined them instead. I lost the only work stapler we needed, and so I watched the cameras, and it looked like I threw it into the garbage bin. My table asked for another round of drinks, and I went to say all good or no stress, but I just said all stress and walked away. A girl came in and asked if our bagels were healthy, and I was tired, so all that came out of my mouth was fatty. I bought myself a miniature guitar to put on display, and the cashier said cash or card, and I was so out of it, I responded, "Surprise me." I once had a guy do the drive-through, Dairy Queen dunk in the drive-through, and it fell all over my car door. One time, someone asked me about a coupon, and I meant to say it's a limited day offer one, but instead say your days are limited. Okay, this one's one of my favorite ones in this one. The thing is, if they make me laugh hard enough, I'll retweet them, and that's what I did for this one. That's how I could find it. This one says, I work at Sonic, and we were at a Tater Tots, and I was taking someone's order and asked, fries or tots? And they said tots, and I just said, no. Oh boy. Customer service employees, you really make our world go around. And you deserve more. But hey. You don't get it.
One time I drove into the drive-thru at a Taco Bell that I'd never been to before in my life, and I ordered on the app. So when I pulled up to the thing, I said, hey, pick up an order for Kevin. And the guy mistakenly leaves the mic on and says, oh, God, Kevin's back. And then realized he said that to me and said, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. And then it got really awkward. And he didn't say anything. So I just pulled up to the window. And then he looks at me and goes, oh, you're not even the Kevin I thought you were.
Right.
So there's some other Kevin out there that I guess they hate.
I'm glad that you got you got closure, because I think in a lot of circumstances you wouldn't actually find out. They wouldn't say, "Oh, you weren't that Kevin," and you'd be like, "I wonder." I mean, obviously, you put it together. There must be a Kevin that they're thinking of that they assume is you. But it's nice to actually get the whole story.
Yeah.
Um,
Or that
yeah.
was really covering by him, and he really did hate me.
But you don't go to that Taco Bell that often, right? There's
Yeah,
no way. Yeah.
I hope not.
Anyway, I hope not to. I'm sure it's fine. Anyway, let's read some emails. Okay. That's good podcasting. Brian writes, yes, I would buy a 6-pack of That Happens soda. Maybe you can use AI to develop weird flavor ideas. It would be really cool if it was a variety pack. I think that's true. Can we do a variety pack of the soda?
Yes, it would increase the minimum order quite a bit, but we could do it.
Ah,
I'd still like to do it.
I know.
It does sort of get cheaper the bigger the order is, though, too. So if we were going to do like a 6-pack of one of each flavor, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, it gets cheaper, but also it gets more expensive because we're not going to sell them. So it doesn't matter, we'll just eat it. But hey, whatever. Okay. Do you want to put in do you want to ask ChatGPT to come up with weird flavors or something while I read the next email? Also, we're running low on emails, you guys. I'm ripping through these emails. So send us an email, thathappenspod@gmail.com. Let us know your funny customer service stories. Let us know your dreams and your hopes. Anyway, Zim writes, are you cool with questions following up on things you said on Harmontown? If so, do you do nitrous anymore? I do nitrous like once every few years. I did nitrous maybe last year. And then I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. You ever do nitrous, Kevin? Probably
I
not.
tried once and went, nope, this is not for me immediately.
Yeah, I got scared straight at some point because there's people that have done nitrous and gotten really fucked up recently. In the past, there was mostly just this one person that got like holes in his brain and they're saying it's nitrous and it's not clear that it actually was nitrous. So I was like, I don't know if this is actually that bad for you. But there have been more. There's like someone who got paralyzed from doing nitrous or something. I don't know. And so since then, I've been a lot more cagey about it. The last time I did nitrous, I wore a pulse oximeter to see what my blood levels were, my blood oxygen levels were, because you're inhaling something that's not oxygen, so you're depriving your system of oxygen. And I was like, well, I wonder what these numbers actually are. And then when it was starting to like dip, then I'd stop and stuff like that. And then I was like, I don't know, this doesn't seem good. So I might do it again in the future, but I think I might be done. I don't know. Have you considered grading the sodas you drink or have drank and creating something like an ongoing tier list of them all? That's interesting. That's a pretty good idea. Too bad I didn't read this before. We just tried 5 sodas. But yeah, I think it would be cool if we had this massive grid of ranking stuff. What Tom Sharpling does is he makes top 100 lists and they kind of move stuff around, but it would be fun to just have like a giant list and have to keep slotting things into the list, even though like, I don't know. It's like, I don't even remember what Mountain Dew Major Melon tastes like anymore. But does this taste better than that? I can't say. Any experience, interest, or serious plans about growing plants of any kind? I mean, I don't have a yard. I don't want to grow plants inside. It's not great. I think if I had a yard, I would want to grow plants. I have a friend that grows plants. He actually, I was mentioning making sausage and sage stuffing. We used his fresh sage from his sage plant, and it's nice. So I think at the very least, I would definitely want like a nice little herb garden of some sort, because I think if you're trying to grow plants, like herb gardens are probably the best bang for your buck in terms of stuff. He has other things. He has like a zucchini plant and a pepper plant, and he's doing also a strawberry plant. He's doing all sorts of shit, and it's awesome. But, I don't think I'd necessarily go that hard, but I might. Growing plants is really fun. It's meditative. It's, I think it puts you in touch with the earth, if that makes sense. And it's working with your hands. I think there's a lot of good to cultivating plants. Ever seriously think about moving to another state? If so, which? Yeah, I think there was a time where I wanted to move to Chicago to go to school. I think it was because there was a girl that I liked that lived there, but also there was a school in Chicago that was about like radio stuff, and I wanted to learn radio production. And there was a time where I was maybe thinking about moving to Florida for a different girl. But yeah, that's it. It never really came out to anything. I'll move anywhere for a girl, probably. Although, now it's hard because I want to work in Hollywood. But if Hollywood seems like it's not paying out, I think I'd definitely move somewhere else because California is expensive and my money would stretch a lot further in a different state. Although I like California, I don't know if there's a place I'd rather live than California, but it's just like I'm not super precious about it. I think I'd be fine other places. I don't go outside per se, other than to hike, and hiking is great. Ever seriously think? Oh no. One question more for Kevin in particular. Listen up, Kevin. Can't remember if this is an original thought or if it came up on the podcast before, but have you seriously interacted with any other celebs through the Fapcape or info leak thing or whatever got you hooked up with Dan in his wake?
Yes, but I don't want to name any names because I don't know that I can. But I have quite a few people reached out to, and for the most part, they've been very grateful and asked for advice and then followed up later and stuff like that. I had a couple people just think I was scamming them, and I kept having to find connections to somebody I know that knows them to be able to say, no, Kevin's not crazy, that kind of thing.
He's just trying to reach you from other vectors. That's how not crazy he is. I that's cool, but it makes sense that you don't want to talk about it. I wouldn't either. Ever think about getting Dave Klein as a guest? No, I don't like Dave Klein. I'm not convinced he's a good person. I think here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing about Harmontown is the internet audience, for lack of a better term, is stupid. They're a bad judge of character. I think the live audience is a better judge of character, but it creates all these differences, where, the most obvious example is Adam Goldberg. On the internet audience is oh, Adam Goldberg's the best. And then the live audience was this fucking guy, what the fuck is going on? And so I think, I don't know, but
part of I think why there was a difference is that most of the time that Adam Goldberg was talking, he did not have a microphone in his hand, so the people at home could not hear 80% of what he said. So I made him more likable.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't like wrestling, because here's the thing about wrestling is it's fake. And everyone knows this and whatever, and people like it. It's fine. It's fine if you like wrestling, whatever. But I think that just doing something and being look what I'm doing is not very interesting. It's you're just making shit up. It's what? It's I'm supposed to be impressed. What you're doing isn't particularly impressive. The making up part isn't. The acrobatics and the athletics are. But But so when Dave Klein first came on, I was he's just doing a wrestler shtick. It's he's just and then the crowd is eating it up the same way. And so to me, it was just this is just like wrestling. It sucks. And everyone's this is so great. Look how it sucks. Isn't this awesome? And I'm no, it's just I don't know. What's it
I always felt he was trying to do an Andy Kaufman bit, but not really pulling it off.
Yeah. I'm trying to, it's I don't know. It's okay, what if you had a stick? And then you were I'm going to wave this stick around. Are you fucking ready? I'm going to wave the shit out of this stick. And then you started waving the stick. And then the crowd's holy shit, he's fucking doing it. Oh my God. It's yeah. You're talking about it like it's something. But at the end of the day, you're not doing anything. And everyone's this is fucking awesome. And I feel that was kind of his whole bit. It would have been more interesting to learn about him, but I don't think we did learn about him very much. I think there's details that he told us about his life that were true, but I think those are few and far between. And mostly it was just this persona that to me wasn't particularly interesting. It was just a very flat character. And then also I think there's times on stage I would kind of needle him a bit and kind of poke at that. And then he'd be nah, this is just me. And it's no, it's not. What are you doing? And there's a couple times where he actually broke, character kind of. And, he did that more as time went on, but I think that became more manicured. But, he would talk in a lower voice, not a lower energy voice. And that felt more true to who he actually was. But there was only one or two times of him doing that felt I don't know who did it, but I think someone essentially caught him off guard. And then he responded in what I clocked as his real voice. And it just sounded completely different than anything he had been doing thus far. And so, like, at that point, I was like, this guy's like a fucking phony. It's just like, and the thing is, especially online, like, I think like all the people were talking about him, like, oh man, he's just a real dude. Like, that's just who he is and stuff. And it's like, no, this is clearly a very transparent put on, and it's not very interesting. And then also, he would pander, like, he would, in front of a live crowd, you pander. That's the thing people do. But he would do this really transparent pandering. It was like, oh, isn't it great to be here, and Dan's here? And then the crowd would be like, yeah. And it's like, yeah, we fucking know. We've been here for months. Like, the same audience has been here every time. It's like, I think it's like, we get it. I don't know. So all of that stuff just definitely really rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm sure he's a good guy. Again, I was more interested in what the real person was. But whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Everybody's fine. Also, I think as a result of being insecure, I think I probably had a chip on my shoulder about a lot of the audience come ups, just feel like you should do it the right way, like me, so I'm definitely biased here. But anyway, thanks so much, Zim, for the email. And we are out of time. So we should turn off the show, and maybe you could just end the whole stream, and not play anything else after this. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, we did advertise there's at least 3 more shows coming up after this, so I probably should finish at least those 3, and then I'll end it.
No, I don't think so. The good Discord, they're good. They're nice. I think they'd be very understanding that I asked you to do that, and so that seems like the best thing to do. Anyway, what do we got? I don't have anything to plug other than, check out my job. I don't know. Patreon.com/thesixler so I can quit my job. Whatever. It's fine. Every month I'm like, maybe I should just shut down the Patreon. I don't want to be taking people's money. I feel guilty about it. You deserve money more than I do, and yet I still need money. Another thing is, I've been talking to Kevin a little bit. We haven't said any dates or anything, but I was thinking we want to do maybe like a Patreon only, maybe like a once a month bonus episode where we watch anime or something and talk about it. Maybe we get Schraub. It'd be like we watch Dirty Pair and then talk about it with Schraub or something. Me, Kevin, and Schraub. That seems like something that people might pay money for, right? So, but no concrete plans for that. Just something that I've thought about a little bit. But yeah, that's me. What about you, Kevin?
Just pay Spencer money to see me. That's the message there. Okay, that's all you have to do. If you want
can't get more Kevin without giving me money.
Yes. Come to shroudonvideo.com every Sunday and watch all of this. Email us, thathappenspod@gmail.com. Come join any of the Discords, even ones not related to us. Just join Discord. This is an ad for Discord.
Discord's great, man. It's like a new IRC, and if you don't know what that means, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
That should be Discord's slogan. If you don't know what that is, that's fine.
Yeah, so that's our show. We like to end the show the same way we do every week. So until next time, from Kevin Day and Spencer Crittenden, it's time to train dirty, eat clean, and live in between.